This is RJax. I'm here with Low Tide and with Mason and Salty Toes, and we are going to have a discussion about frequencies and, with Mason. And today is November the 25th, 2024. Okay. Now, Mason, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor so you can talk about frequencies.
Okay. Uh, well, this is an interesting topic only because I know it's something that everybody has an interest in. And I mean that literally, because frequencies are something that permeate the universe and everything in it. And they can also be attributed to different levels of consciousness and different attributes that deal with things that some of the previous uh, spiritual hierarchies used to utilize in order to create different effects. And interestingly enough, so the first part of this is whether you, in your individual person, has anything that remotely sounds like something other than, um, let's say, a brainwave. Does anybody know what a brainwave sounds like?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Uh,
I
then
don't
you
know.
might not know. Then you might, huh?
I don't know what a brainwave sounds like.
Okay. Do you know what water running sounds like?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what electricity running sounds like?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Okay. Well, you either do or you don't.
Well,
You know or you don't.
most of the time you don't hear it, but sometimes
I
it
didn't
does
ask
make
you if you heard
crackling.
it. I asked you if you knew what it sounded like.
Well, maybe I don't then.
Well, how do you know you don't? What
Because
do
every
you hear?
day, I mean, I know it's running all around me and I don't hear it.
Oh, okay. Then let me ask you a bigger question. Have you ever been to the ocean and put a seashell up to your ear?
Yes, I have.
What do
Yep.
you hear?
I hear a noise. I hear a frequency inside that shell. It sounds like an
Oh,
ocean.
oh, it's coming from the shell.
Yeah, that's what you think. That's what I think.
Has anybody ever put a noise detector on a seashell to see what kind of noise comes out of there?
I haven't. No.
There's no noise comes out of there.
No noise. Okay.
No, the seashell is just a piece of shell. It doesn't emanate anything. It's got its own energy, but it's not detectable to the human ear. I'll put it that way. So what's that noise you hear?
Well, I do know what that is because you've told us before. That's our
Ah, you're
vibrations going
cheating.
in. I know you told us it's our vibrations going into the shell and reverberating back to us.
Magnified back to you. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
what's it? But what's it for? What's the whole purpose for this particular little exercise in our daily life?
To
You
know that
know.
we're putting off vibrations all the time and we don't
Yeah.
realize it.
Yeah. Now, those vibrations also include brain waves. And the brain waves are the things that cause you to be thinking something, good, bad, or otherwise. Now, those brain waves are of the what? The material world. That's the physical part of us. And they're designed for one thing, keep you busy. Busy what? Busy listening and thinking and operating and acting on all those brain waves that you're being troubled with most of the time about things going on in your life around you and the things that you're involved with, things you think you have no control over, and yet there they are, and your responses to all the things that you've done in your life and the things you're having problems with, or your little baby granddaughter, oh, isn't she cute? Oh yeah, kiss her foot. Oh yeah, and then she pees in your face. Oh my God! Blah, blah, blah. You can only imagine how many different little responses you had in a very short period, from really good to really not so good. But they all came out of your brain.
If we were
Now,
listening to that if we were listening to that in for in a shell while we were
Uh-huh.
experiencing all of that, the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Yeah.
would we hear different vibrations coming back to us?
You may very well be hearing that and more. Now, the big part of this isn't about what you're hearing, it's about what you're focused on. Because the brain can give you all kinds of pictures. You focus on that all day long, you're going to be you're going to be tired by the time you go to bed, and you're going to be looking for sleep. And then you go to bed and you go to sleep and you have dreams, and the thing's still working. Oh God! But what do you do to shut it down? You got to learn to focus on something that is there for the purpose of getting your attention off of all of those brain waves. Now, you can do that either through the current, the sounds, the frequencies, the vibrations, or you may even have a light show go on in your head. And I happen to know a lot of people that do just that. But it's all designed for one thing, to stop that brain from controlling what's going on in your life. And it does it daily, 24/7. And if you don't know how to shut that thing down, it'll drive you nuts. That's why you have so many crazy people on the planet. But this is where they're at, and this is why they're here, is to learn the lessons. These are the tests that go along with the program. So the frequency you carry, whatever it might be, I don't care if it's electrical, I don't care if it's bells ringing, I don't care if it's water running, I don't care if it's a violin playing, I don't care if it's a flute, I don't care, it doesn't matter. If it's coming inside, from inside you, that's your point of focus when you have the opportunity to do it. Now, most people, they sit down quietly and want to pray, so okay, let's see how far that gets you. Because that's not a creation factor for you. That's to give you more experiences to teach you that praying your problems away isn't the solution. Because you're responsible. But you want to keep giving somebody else the problem to take away. That's not how it works. You may get temporary relief from your problem just because you were sitting quietly and asking some spiritual being to assist you in the matter, but it's not permanent because the problem that was there that you're praying about is never going to leave you completely. It's going to circle you until you decide to take responsibility for that and deal with it. And that's when you grow. There's no other process. And that's why the spiritual part of us is so important. Because you're going to learn in this time, these experiences, and the advantages you're going to acquire by following certain simple little programs that will help you not only eliminate the dictionaries that are out there, but have access to the international, universal mind that controls everything that is of your own creation. We're all together in this. This is a collective of all collectives. So this country came together because of all of the growing spiritual individuals and their consorted efforts collectively to move into this next frequency, this vibration, this golden age that we're all looking at right now. And it's an amazing event. Some of us have been through it consciously, some of us not. They're irrelevant. The fact remains is if you're here now and you have the opportunity to step, hey girls, give me a little break here, thank you. If you have the opportunity to step into this experience of moving into the consciousness that allows you to take part actively in the golden age and to help those few souls who may migrate along with us into learning and understanding what they need to know for the next trip. Because there's a lot of people that are here coming back again. They got no choice. You know, I was one of them. Came back from a previous trip. Okay, what are you doing here? Oh man, if you had any idea what the heck I did, what I had to do, and what I'm doing, and whether or not I agreed with it, no, I had no choice. That's the whole point. Now you either make the best of it, or guess what? You get to come back and do it anyway. And it doesn't matter how many times it takes. So if you think it's a free ride, ain't no way. Ain't no free ride on this planet. No free ride anywhere in this universe. You got to earn your way. And sometimes it's not easy. Most of the time, it's not easy. So the frequencies, very important. But it's only designed to one thing to start with, to get you to sit quietly, focus on something you might need to know, but don't think about it. Ask a question, and then you may not even get the answer while you're sitting there, because it's waiting for you to do something, even if it's go out for a walk, or tell your local sheriff, hey guy, you've been violating my rights. You want to know what they are? I mean, I can think of all kinds of ways to excite that need for that question to be answered. Why is he in my face, and why am I here having to deal with all this junk? That's a bigger question. But the answer's in your face. You're just not paying attention. So if you wonder why the frequencies are important, I don't care what you listen to. If it's not something coming outside you, it's important. If it's coming inside, that's where you need to pay attention to it and learn how to sit quietly and focus. But remember, with what's the old saying they say about prayer? You can pray all you want, but there's action that goes with it, and it isn't from the other party; it's from you. So if you're going to pray for something, pray for what do I need to do to fix my problem in this situation I'm having right now. Now, is that a prayer? You can say that, as long as you don't try and tell somebody else to take the problem away. Now it's not a prayer. Now you just created some more karmic responses from the situation that you don't want to deal with. And it'll come. Don't worry. No choice in that matter. I don't care how much you want to pray it away. So, anyway, I don't know how much else I can give you on the frequency thing. I'm sure somebody will get something out of it of benefit
Yeah.
to
Well, it sounds like
themselves.
am I not on? Let me see.
You're on. You're on.
Okay, I am on. Yeah, okay. Mason, it sounds like when we do sit down and get quiet and we ask our question, it we might get something that leads us to doing to an action. And you're
Yes,
saying that we have to do something ourselves to to bring us to a higher spiritual level, that we can't
that's right.
just float on into a new spiritual level. It's not going to be easy. It's something we have to do, though.
That's right. You're the create. Look, if I go out and I get a blueprint and I start building a house, I know how to do, and I get to a point where I look at the blueprint and I say, uh, this ain't right. Uh, and if I really know what I'm doing, is it my obligation to tell the guy that drew the blueprints, hey, this is not right. You need to fix this, and here's why. That's my job. Why? Because I'm the guy that's building this house. Now, what are you doing in your life about fixing all the things you have problems with? Where do you go to instruct the creator of that mess of what to do and what needs to be changed? Where do you go? No, most people, they'll sit down and pray and say, oh my God, take this thing away, please help. Okay, well, that's the end of the prayer, but there's no action. The problem may be gone temporarily, but it'll come back bigger. That's what people don't get. You can pray all you want, but sooner or later you got to pay for all those things you've asked to be taken away, because there's no such thing. There ain't nothing going to be taken away. You got to do it. It's your job. You created it. You're the builder of your universe. You're the carpenter. So you want to change the blueprint? You got to change what you're doing, not what somebody else can do for you. Now, is this easy? No. I've said this before. This is not an easy step. It's not an easy path. It wasn't designed to be easy. And everyone that confronts themselves in these things I'm telling you about will have the same opinion about it. Did you have fun the first time you had to deal with the system? Uh, yeah, well, I'll tell you what. The first time I dealt with it, I had fun. Now, they look at me and say, "What, you sick?" No, I guess somewhere in a previous lifetime, I had actually strengthened that emotional body of mine to deal with these kind of events, knowing that it was all going to be fixed somehow or another. But I had to take part in it. The only problem is that I may, in my overzealousness to fix the problem, I may have caused some people to die as a result of it. Ooh, that sounds kind of crazy. No, that's the way it used to be done. You know, you guys steal your horse, you find him, you hang him. Among other things. So I could. There's so many examples I could give you in this world scenario that most people will look at that and go, "Oh my God, yeah! Look, all the movies are loaded with this kind of stuff." It's amazing how many examples exist in today's age, especially with the movie industry. Woe is them, about all the stuff we're talking about right now. And yet, how many people can look in the mirror and say, "I think maybe I took part in some of that"? Not funny. Did you ever see the Law-Abiding Citizen, the movie?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh boy, it was a good movie, but boy, it was pretty pointed. There was some really heavy stuff that took place in that movie, but it was truly depicted in a way that the human race generally operates when it comes to things that are such a magnitude in their life that they just want revenge. They don't care how to get it, how they get it. And some people are really sick-minded when it comes to how they get it. That's another whole level of ugh. But as far as
Is
you're
revenge a
responsible,
good thing? Is revenge a good thing?
no, not for you. The universe knows.
No.
Look at if
You're
you think
right.
revenge is not a good thing, look at the universe.
Yeah.
Look at all of the terrible things that have happened all across this great universe over the last gazillion years, and tell me, was it all necessary to get you where you are right this very moment?
It probably was.
Okay, good, bad, or otherwise.
Yeah.
It's all in the mind of the beholder. Remember,
Mhm.
and that mind will give you pictures of things that you just can't handle. Did you ever see the the video that hit the internet for about 2 minutes with Hillary and her underling Uma?
Um, no, but I heard all about it. I didn't
No,
see
I
it.
saw it.
I did have the opportunity to see it, and I chose not to watch it.
That's fine, and I saw it. And so, and I'm my wife. She has this inner need to be able to see some of these things because it's so crazy. She can't believe it without seeing it.
I know
And I
it's
just,
crazy to even
yeah,
think that these people could act the way that they act. It's
well,
just,
they do.
it's so horrible. But I know that it happens, and I know they do, and I know
And
they.
you're not exempt from the event. You just haven't come to realize how far back in your existence that you may have been involved in something just like that.
Yeah, I might
As
have. Who
horrible, as
knows?
crazy as this may sound, but as I explained earlier, if you can't forgive yourself for all of the things you have been in your lifetimes up to this point in time, if you can't do that, well, then you're just still pointing the finger somewhere else. Every time you see an event, you have an emotional issue with it, and you go, "Oh, look at that horrible thing. Oh, that no good person. Ooh, ugh." Yeah, well, there you go. So you just spoke more experiences into your own life with respect to that kind of stuff. And that emotional body will drive you up and down the flagpole as many times as you let it, because it's your responsibility. You're the one that's responsible for the blueprint and the construction.
Well, it sounds like we all need to get quiet and hopefully learn what
There's no
we have
hope
been
about this.
involved in the
Yep.
past over the last thousands of years.
Yeah, well, that's an easy step, but most people are unwilling to do it.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They can't seem to find the time to sit quietly and look at a speck on the wall or listen to a sound coming out of their head, and then do something. Pick. Look, I had a very close guy. He was kind of hanging on my tail for several months, and we started a program. I said, okay, here's what I want you to do. Write down, you write it down, everything that happened yesterday in your life that you didn't like, if you can remember. And then for the next month, at the end of the day, sit down and make that list and see if you got to add to it or if it's going to be more of the same. And after you figure out how many different things in your life for a month that you don't like, uh, decide which one of them is at the top of the must-do list. That would be the one you have the most irritation about. And we went through this little program for quite a while. And he recorded and wrote down and did all these things and everything. And then all of a sudden one day he just flaked out on me and went somewhere else in the universe. But these are
Oh,
the
so
things in
you
your life.
you never got to work with him to the end? My
No,
goodness.
no, he quit. He quit.
He couldn't take it, I guess.
I guess. Don't ask me. I'm not him. I just know that he was looking at things in his life that he didn't like, and he sure as heck didn't want to deal with them. That's the nature of it. That's the nature of the human element. And I don't care how far you run, as the old saying goes, you can run, you can hide, but you'll only die tired. Because you're not going to run away from you. You're your biggest problem. I'm not responsible for you, and you're not responsible for me. And if we have any interaction at all, depending on what the interaction is, if it's an educational thing, hey, it's all up to you. You take the steps and do something with it or not. It's not up to me to make you.
Well, it sounds like to me that frequencies have a lot to do with our spiritual growth. Is that correct? Is that a
That's
correct
a hundred
statement?
percent. That's 100%. Now, there's a there's a book out there, and I don't usually want to recommend this particular group to anybody. Uh, and the reasons would be obvious if I were to give you some more information about it. But the group I originally got hooked up was called Eckankar. And the guy that was at the head of that was named Paul Twitchell. And he directed me to a couple of the masters, one named Bhuvi Quantz and the other named Ravazar Tars, and there's a whole another list, a whole bunch of them. And in those writings, he went through these different steps and processes to give people the opportunity to experience something of themselves instead of listening to somebody else. And these experiences uh, led me right straight into that universal mirror that we all have walking with us 24/7 our entire existence. I'll just use it as an example from in the lower worlds. And that's where we happen to be right at the moment. And we're all experiencing the physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric, and some of us a little bit of the soul plane, and some of them even planes above that. And so, and there's a whole lot of them above where we are right now. So whether you're having experiences that you're dealing with or not, and can deal with it, you might consider the possibility that your unwillingness to step towards those things that you don't like or don't want to do is the very ticket to get you to another level in your consciousness. And these frequencies, there's a whole list of the planes, the frequencies, and the colors that go with them. And most people, what do you mean the colors? Well, I'll give you one example, and then you can work your way up from that. A white light is the fifth level. If you're seeing color at all, if it's white, that's the white light is from the fifth level. Now, it could be blue or green or yellow, red. There are many other planes and many other colors. And I didn't happen to just absolutely memorize all those. And because my wife she has the blue and the white and the yellow every once in a while. And She also hears sounds, different sounds, different frequencies. Uh, my main focus and sounds come from the seventh level. It's where it's always been ever since I can remember hearing it. And it's like, okay. So, and I was told, yeah, you come back for a reason. Yeah, I know what the reason is. So, what are you fussing over? I'm not. I'm following your lead, guys. I know where this thing lives, and I'm not going to make a misstep here because I've already grown through all of the lower steps that got me to where I am. And once you know that, you're the only one who can know that. So if you're looking to get a free ride somewhere, there ain't no ticket for that. So if you happen to be from a foreign country and you got naturalized in a U.S. court uh, in one of these criminal organizations here, you're just another ignorant, subject, tax-paying person who's subject to all of the rules governing the lower worlds. And that's what's going on here right now. But you can circumvent those once you realize the powerful side of you is the non-response to those things, and you get that by facing them. You got to get through that fear point. I don't care if it's the DMV. I don't care if it's the property tax people. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is in your life that you don't like, you don't want to deal with. If you can't face them, you're afraid to. Well, guess what? You got another trip coming. And believe me, that veil is drawn. You came into this life, that veil got drawn right away. You may have seen things as a young kid. You may have had experiences in there, but as that pineal gland begins to close, and it depends on the individual.
Michael,
What?
I got something important you need to take a look at.
Oh God, on your side and I got.
Well, why don't we go ahead and end this frequency video
Okay.
then, and
All right.
we will take questions at some point when people can ask questions because I know there'll be a lot of questions.
Canceled the
Yeah.
internet Optima.
They could
So
they can
because
probably
it was
share the
charging
question
Michael's account
in the
$20
room.
a month.
yeah, they
So
could.
he canceled
Well,
it
Mason,
today.
we thank you. Mason, we thank
Okay, hon.
you,
Okay,
and we
hon.
will
Thank
we
you.
will we will come back to this at some point, I'm sure. Okay, you go ahead and get your work done, and we will end the video and thank everyone for being here, and we will talk to you soon.
Okay.
Thank you, RJX.
Okay.
Oh, you're so welcome.
All right.